go. Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to a new stream. It's Friday, so it is finishing painting a day. We're going to finish this little temple painting. I'm not sure what the approach is going to be. I think I'll just start with a bit of cleanup here and there, clean up some edges, stuff like that. I think we can probably should make this whole area a little bit lighter. We're possibly gonna throw in some textures. Yeah, this is probably has to be a little bit lighter. Gonna throw in some textures. Maybe. It depends. I think we will. They add a lot of detail without us having to paint it all in. But first, let's clean up some of the lines here and there. Get some detail going that way. So yeah, I wanted to work on this a little bit this week, but it didn't happen. So unfortunately, we're less far than we kind of wanted to start with today. But that's okay. Just gonna go with what we have now. I think I'm gonna make this shadow like this. Yeah. What's my opacity? 80? Oh, that's decent enough, I guess. So yeah, today is all about adding detail to the painting and cleaning it up to make it sort of presentable. As usual, we're not gonna clean it up until it's totally finished, because it's more of the same at from a certain stage on. Ooh, that's bad. Or not. I merged all the layers to create the thumbnail, and I thought, you know what, that's okay. I will just create a new layer on top, and then I'm gonna use that layer to paint. But now I realize I also merged the line drawing, and usually I keep the line drawing separate, so in the end I can turn it off and paint without the line drawing, because at a certain stage we don't need it anymore. But now it's still there. Which is rather unfortunate that we still have the line drawing there. I could go back quickly and sort of restart it. There's not much that I did. Just did this. Let me think. I should have noticed it right away here. On the other end, is that really a problem? I could just because I'm gonna I just saved it. So stupid. And I don't think I have enough steps in my history to Ctrl Z it. Never mind. We'll just keep the line drawing there, and eventually it will just go away, since it's on this layer. We don't have a separate layer for it anymore. That was a mistake on my part, but it's not necessarily a problem. We want to get rid of it anyway at some point. Now we just have to get rid of it by painting over it. And by just painting it will slowly sort of fade away anyway. So yeah, I think it's okay. We'll manage. And if in the end we still have a bit of a line drawing, well, it makes the piece a little bit more stylized, I guess. But we'll have a bit of a challenge at hand here. I'm wondering if I should bring in textures right away. If I want to bring in textures, I should do it as early as possible, I guess, because then we have all the time to sort of clean it up and incorporate it into the actual painting. So I think I'm gonna go in and use some of the details from the textures. Today I'm gonna do it slightly differently. We're just gonna Google for Egyptian temple, and let's bring it up on the screen here. And we're just gonna pick some stuff that we think can be useful. For instance, these pillars can be quite interesting. No, we're gonna not save the image. We're gonna copy the image, and I could copy it straight into the document. Let's just do that. Let's just copy a nice collection of images. We can get rid of that into the painting. Abu symbol. These guys are also nice. Copy paste. Here we go. They're just there for some detail. This is a 3D design, so it's not real life. And these are ruins usually, most of it. So not finished buildings. Well, one at a certain stage they were, but I'm sort of got them. So drawing. Let's see. I don't really like this perspective. I really like these pillars. I think we can use those. Ooh, that's a nice high-res picture as well. So that's kind of cool. I don't think we need that much anymore. Let's copy these. Then or maybe some more straightforward stuff. This. Copy this. Painting as well. So we're gonna sort of organize this a bit. Let's turn off the layers that we don't currently want. I'd like to sort of use these as big pillars on this building. I think I'm gonna copy it. I'm gonna get rid of one of the layers. Get rid of that. Sort of bring this into the correct perspective using the transformation tool. I think we're almost correct there. I'm gonna use the layer settings to figure out a nice layer effect. You can use. This is probably quite good. I think the overlay can be good, but yeah. The color, not really. Soft light almost gets That's the problem. It's a fairly because the colors are sort of the same, the image gets really sort of blown out. But we can sort of desaturate it and then put it on overlay. I think that's actually quite nice. Problem is if you copy it, put it up here. Don't really like the orange colors. So we could set it to normal, just desaturate it a bit. Maybe not even desaturate it that much. Just integrate it into our painting. Let's try that. No, I usually don't really do this this way, but sort of. Kind of want to get higher with the base here. There we go. It's better. And now we just have to sort of merge these images. So we're probably going to get rid of the people there. So yeah, that's something, I guess. So I don't want to work on this layer. I want to work on that layer. That's why it's strange. And we kind of have to work in the shadow bit again. So let's go like this, and then a big soft brush. Probably a new layer. And after this, we're gonna. No, that's not working. That shadow there. Yeah, we're gonna go and sort of add the stuff first, and then we're gonna fix it up with the brush, because otherwise it's gonna be way too confusing. Let's see what do we have. Kind of like let's copy it. A little bit, select it first, delete. Only want this bit. Excuse me. No, I don't want the brush. I want the entire thing. Throw it over here. Lasso tool this. That. There we go. And then select a nice option. The problem is here is to get all the colors right. That's gonna be the main challenge, I guess. because for some reason I really like this. I don't exactly know why, but I kind of like it. The color is slightly is off, so we're gonna have to fix the color. We can probably desaturate it. Image saturation. Yeah, that fixes a lot of the issues. Go. And I guess I want to lower the opacity a little bit, so we have a bit of the original. And we need to make sure that we make some doorway in here. So we're probably gonna paint back here. And hopefully the line drawings will help us with that. So it's gonna look quite messy today, the whole thing, but that's okay. We'll spend like 15 minutes on getting all these textures in place. And then we'll spend like a half an hour or so with to sort of clean it all up. It's probably a little bit less than 50 minutes to put it all in place. I think with let's just say 15 minutes for all of this. This. And we have to be careful that we don't let the new textures sort of dictate the design. Well, the overall design is sort of set already, so that's good. Let's keep it this way. We want something for the arch there, for the gate. We probably can disguise here. It's definitely going to be a mess early on, but that's okay. It's not too big of a problem. I don't know if this works. The highlight. Just saturation. And as you can see, oops. Image saturation thing around there. Okay. As you can see, the design doesn't really make sense, especially here. But that's just mainly for the texture. We're gonna see what we can do with this little building here. Probably gonna put some atmospheric fog onto it, and then hopefully it will work a little bit better. This is one big mess. It's becoming one big mess now. but that's okay. Do I want more of those pillars? I kind of want to use the same images as much as possible, because that way we have sort of a uniform feel to it, because it's all the same lighting, the same lighting setting, stuff like that. So when using textures, that can be important. Doesn't have to be. We are working with a sort of a monochromatic piece here, so then we want to keep that in mind. Hard light. Are way out of whack. You like this, and you need, let's say 74% opacity. Just use saturation down. Make it quite a bit darker. Go. We don't need this anymore. We're gonna delete all the layers that we don't want. I don't want this one. Just to have some. Yeah, we want to keep this one definitely. So I like this one. And we need to figure something out for the dome. Let's see. Is this the correct one? No. Selecting. Why does that work? Select my right tool. So we're gonna copy it again. Gonna make one invisible. Yeah, I think I just repeat sort of the same method for the building here in the back. I might even get rid of these pillars. I think I will. Where are they? Because I don't think they fit the painting that well. So yeah, we're gonna get rid of the pillars. We're gonna like this. Eat. Can probably, yeah, let's copy this one and get over right there. So yeah, I'm really making a mess of this. But that's okay. In like 5 or 10 minutes time, we will start painting, and then hopefully we can sort of merge everything together in a nice, nice looking painting. That's the goal, at least. It's in sort of the right perspective. Yeah. put it on hard light because we saw that it kind of worked. Lower the opacity and lower the saturation quite a bit. We can also make this one quite a bit darker, I guess. Something like this. Alright. I probably should have copied it before we I think we can just copy this one. Copy it that way. Back it that way. And yeah, this works quite nicely. The shadow remains intact. I think I want the light here on the top to be this nice soft orange rather than the bright white. Maybe we can achieve that by, let's see, where are the correct layers? No, maybe the lightness. Yeah, by darkening the layers a little bit, the white doesn't get so white. So we're gonna do the same here. Excuse me. Darken this a little bit. Get a little rid of a little bit bottom here. I think I want to saturate these as well. These are quite desaturated already. I think I need to make them darker. Brightness. Go. So it's starting to get more uniform now. That's good. A couple of more things and then we can start the actual painting. I think I'm gonna copy this and flip it for we have to do a little bit and just flip it, of course, for this area. There you go, that works quite nicely. This we got this bit up front here. I'm not sure what to do with that. Let's try and figure out where exactly the pillars are. This and the green. The green will come back later. Only thing we need to do is give it a little bit more saturation probably and make it a little bit darker. I kind of want to have the same reddish color up there as we have down here, so that's getting there. Rid of this little corner. There we go. Do I need to do something with these? Yeah, we probably have to throw some textures on there as well. I don't think we need anymore. I think we'll just copy this and put it in the right perspective. Just do it like that. And I think if I cut this, I can use this small bit for this area here. Cycle it a little bit instead of deleting it. Use it for this here. I think we also need a little bit. Oops. A little bit of texture on the floor, on the ground. Not sure what we're gonna do with that. I might have to look into it. So let's copy this. Flip it. Over here. Something like that. And we'll fix things like this and yeah, stuff like that. And those small things we don't really to bring in an entirely new texture. To copy you and raise you a little bit. I think we need to probably grab a new one for the little tower there. Quickly with the lasso tool, select everything we don't need. Texture. Same goes for up here. Yeah. We need some texture probably for the dome, and a little bit of cool stuff for the towers. I think we can just copy that. Let's try that. See if that works. Towers. Probably does. Let's get rid of most of it. This bit. I don't want to rotate it. Bigger. Copy it. And it. What's up there that it makes this transformation box so huge? I don't know. Bottom is alright. Something like that. Let's see. I kind of want to have a sort of a tiled roof, something like that. So quickly googling church tower to get the roof. Roman. Let's see. So googling a picture of a mosque. So we have a picture of a dome. How do we select this? I guess just like this, something like that. And then select inverse and then delete. You have the correct selection. Big. Be a little bit pixely. Photoshop is a really powerful tool when it comes to enlarging pictures. And we're just using it as a base of our texture, so we're gonna paint over it. So The resolution doesn't really matter that much. Let's quickly grab the lasso tool and make sure that we get rid of the right stuff here. And then select a nice problem is, I don't know if you noticed, but the lighting on the on the sphere is just the wrong way around. But that's okay. It'll probably fix itself with the right layer settings. Like that. We probably have to desaturate it a little. Darker. There we go. So I think we have quite a strong base now to start painting on. I'm quickly gonna grab myself a coffee, and after that we'll start painting. And there's one little thing I want to do before we go. We'll merge all the layers, and then we'll have to go with what we've got. No, that's the wrong one. I want this one. Here you go. Here and there, fixing the colors slightly. I also want to fix this one darker, saturate it a little bit. Try to find that yellowish color that we want. Something like that. I think the rest. I think we can fix the rest with paint. All right, I'm gonna go on a short break, and after the break, we'll just merge everything. We'll start with the brush, and then we're gonna fix this all up and make this a nice looking painting. I think we have a strong base to go on, and yeah, hopefully it will be nice. I'll see you in a bit. And we're back. Before we start to paint, there's one little thing I want to change, and I think that's gonna make my life a lot easier. This layer can go, we don't need it anymore. This little guy here, go in, grab this side bit, cut it out. And flip it. Because it's just gonna make my life a little bit easier if the perspective on these things is somewhat okayish. Not sure if I'm gonna keep sort of the design or if I'm just gonna let them sit there as a sort of a texture. I think it's gonna be the latter. I think I'm gonna get rid of the guys. Maybe some. I don't know. We'll see. Because the perspective on these guys isn't good, so I'd have to fix that. I think I want to saturate this a little bit more and try to get this be a little bit more red. So it matches the rest of the sort of the shadows in the painting. And then we're gonna get rid of these guys here. Alright, so now it's painting time. I think I'm just gonna be really yeah, let's just merge all the layers, so we don't want to merge that. For the rest, merge everything that's visible. We have a perspective grid here. We probably don't need that anymore. We can check the values. Oh, it's quite decent, I guess. So let's put on a new layer and just start painting and finishing this up, cleaning it up. Get rid of sort of the, you can clearly see that those are photographs. It can shine through a little bit, that's okay. But we don't want it to be too obvious. And we'll do just one rough first pass, I guess, with cleanup, and then we're gonna call it a day, I think. It depends. Maybe we can do another pass, sort of. Let's see. We'll see where we end up with. I'm gonna paint for another half an hour, probably something like that. We spent quite a lot of time with the textures, but I think, well, I hope at least that it's gonna help the painting. So yeah, and while we paint, you'll see the line drawing disappearing because we forgot to keep that on a separate layer. So gonna get washed away, so to say. Yeah, I think I'm gonna keep this sort of like that. Maybe some symbols here. Gonna get rid of these lines here. A little bit distracting. Change this color up a little bit. Really like the yellow. Yeah. The highlights. Oops. Go. Um, and the reds for the shadows. Usually shadows are more blue, but in this case I made them quite red, quite warm. Usually shadows are quite cool. So I have to see if that works out in the end. Currently I'm quite pleased with sort of the result, what we got so far. This is in front of the ball here. To keep it in front. Let's do yellow for this. Yeah, I'm just gonna hop back and forth between different sort of parts of the painting, and got this yellow here, but I'm not sure if that's the correct color. This is a little bit too orangey compared to the rest. So this is sort of a color shift going on. We probably have to fix that with the soft brush. I think I'm gonna separate the building in the back a little bit better from this building here. This is selection. Because now there's not much difference in saturation and things like that. They're all on the same at the same distance, sort of, from the viewer. We're gonna see how are we going to do this. Something like this. No, do we go with this? Problem is they're both quite brightly lit. Let's just get rid of the fire thing, and then we can check it like this. I probably should have done it on a new layer. If we do this, we have to do sort of the windows in there as well. Let's do that. Otherwise it doesn't make sense. Something like that. I think it can work. And we probably have to do the same with this little mosque thing. Well, it's quite big actually. Oops. This. Look, at this side it works a lot better because we have the shadows here of this thing. But those are both the bright, sort of the bright side, so that's a little bit harder. I have to figure out. I could make it darker. I think I'm gonna make this corner slightly darker. Maybe to go just down here at the bottom. Grab like that. We kind of want this sort of guy in the middle to stand out a little bit from the rest. So yeah, this is sort of how we started with just the textures and then a bit of fixing. I think the painting comes a lot more alive with the separation of the different layers. There's some atmospheric fog. Yeah, I think that was a good change. I kind of want to add some more greens in it though. Feels so barren. I'm not sure if I will do it just on the ground instead of or on the buildings, but we'll see. Let's continue with the detailing. Yeah, I think this can be sort of. Let's just make it a little bit nicer looking. The cool thing is we got since this is a photograph, the shadows are already correct in terms of shape. Actually, just kind of eyeball the shadow and not really worried too much about making them perfect. But I don't have to worry about it at all now because it's just the right shadows for that building, the pillars and stuff. Let's see. We need to get rid of this little pillar here to get some. It's not the color. To get some design going on here. So we kind of want to keep the entrance that we had here. So we're gonna bring it back from those textures that we threw on. So this can go away. This is probably quite dark. Side, so let's make it a little bit lighter. Yeah. You want it slightly darker than the front though. And we probably want some inscriptions on top of it. Which we're gonna be really rough about in the pillars as well. As you can see, there's some texture in there. The hieroglyphs. Is that the correct term? I think it is. This is probably a little too much contrast. It's way too bright. And it's all about sort of figuring out what works, what doesn't, and where can we change stuff. For instance, here those little textures of the wall don't match the way the wall is going, so we can get rid of them. Then we'll just sort of clone this pick that color from here. Get some lines going. Small brush, sort of add ID that there are bricks there. We can do the same thing for this, obviously. I think it will come alive a little bit better if it's sort of textured, same as the rest of the painting. You don't want to have too big of a difference between the different parts of your painting in terms of the amount of detail and texture there is. So if we were just to make this really, if we kept it the way it was, the amount of texture there was not enough compared to the rest of the painting. So we're adding texture here, and in certain areas we will get rid of texture just to make it uniform with the entire painting. I think I'm just gonna keep the pillars here. I said I wanted to the entrance there, but I think I'm gonna sort of keep a bit of the pillars. I was gonna keep the pillars anyway, but I was gonna get rid of this one to make an entrance, but now I'm not so sure about it. I think I'm gonna just paint it back in pillar, and then because we have the entrance here, you don't want to overdo it. Usually buildings only have 1 or 2 entrances. That's a little bit more. It's just doesn't make sense to make a building with 1,000 doors leading to the outside. One more time? Yeah. So yeah, from now on, it's just basically doing the same over and over again. It's just fixing the little things, fixing the textures every now and then. It's a little bit harder for this one because I accidentally merged the line drawing with the actual painting. So we have to get rid of the line drawing at the same time as we paint. On the other hand, it sometimes gives us a nice little extra texture. It's sort of a happy accident kind of thing. For instance, we're going to keep the line drawing here. We're just going to change the color a little bit to make these stones sort of visible, like there's the huge stones here. Things like that, we'll keep it here and there to help us, to aid us in our quest for a nice looking painting. For instance, here it's quite thick, so we need to move it over there. So yeah, overall this is gonna take probably quite a lot of time, especially due to the line drawing. If we hadn't had the line drawing, we would have just gotten rid of it by now. We would have disabled that layer, and we have to bother with it anymore. Because since I made a mistake there. It's probably gonna take quite a lot longer to fully finish this. But that's something we will do off stream, because in the end it's gonna be the same over and over again. It's just meaning that we have to get rid of certain lines and like that. So it's not that interesting to make a full stream out of that. But at least I think that it's not that interesting to watch. It's just the overall painting sort of barely changes from this point on. The overall design stays the same. It's just the detail gets. We'll just change the details here and there. As you can see, we can sort of use it for advantage here and there, so that's good. But yeah, it's kind of annoying because we're spending a lot of time fixing that while we kind of wanted to use that time to paint actual painting. Well, this is actual painting, of course, but so yeah, and from now on, it's just, as I said before, repeating sort of the same thing over and over again. It's just figuring out where can I improve it and improve that little bit, and then look for the next little part to improve. And yeah, that's just the way to go till you're happy with it. So it's saying, no, it's done now. Maybe in the end we can add a couple of guys painting. Yeah, kind of nice, I guess, to have some reference. The actual size of this thing, probably quite big, of course, but kind of want a viewer to be able to see how big exactly thing is. So yeah, some pillars. What else do we want here? Not much else to do, I guess. Other than fixing this these lines here and there. But yeah, that's something we can postpone a bit, because it's not the most interesting stuff to watch, I guess. Let's work on this fella a little bit. It's quite dark. I think I want to go quite heavy on the green here. Maybe it's not been used very often anymore, something like that. So can make it a little bit overgrown. We can probably throw in some. Maybe we'll do it in the end. Throw in some plant textures. This pillar is shaded wrong way. add a little bit of detail. Don't know if it makes sense, but yeah. At this point, I don't really know where to go with it. I don't have to go with it anywhere, of course, because the design is finished. But yeah, nothing else to do. Of course, it's still fairly rough. But compared to this, I think we're getting there. Sometimes it's good to sort of check the progress that you made and see if you're happy with it. I think I'm kind of happy with it. I kind of want to add people to it and stuff like that to make it sort of feel more alive. So that's what we're gonna figure out now, if we can do that, because it's a little bit boring now. And probably something like a camel as well, with a guy leading it. Stuff like that. Just really throwing it in with the marquee tool here, but probably have to paint quite a bit on those. Yeah, I think we're gonna work on that a little bit for now. Draw in people, because I don't do that often enough, and I think it can really help sort of the feeling of a painting. So there's this little camel dude. Let's put the brush up past here. I don't have a camel reference here, but right, this brush isn't really working when it's this small. What's the image size? 5,000 pixels wide. I think I'm gonna enlarge it to 8,000. That way we can use the same brush, but we can make it bigger, and then the brush will work a lot better. Because when it was that small, it didn't really work. So, and the people that watch me regularly probably know that I really am really bad at drawing people. So this is gonna be a challenge. I could throw in some textures, but I don't really want to do that. I think I'm just gonna start with a bunch of these, because we want a lot of them. So we start with sort of suggestion of a lot of people being here. And then we can take the time to fix those later. Brush. Just to make the painting feel more alive. I think this already helps. Just if you check this out and then this, I think it already makes it I don't know, for some reason it already makes it a lot better. Let's flip it. And if we want, we can really get rid of the camel dude. At least. Maybe there's a bunch of camels there. Usually they're sort of in a little train. Get rid of some here and there. Something like this. It makes it feel more alive. Yeah, definitely want to keep that. And even when you're sort of zoomed out, you don't really need to work too much on it anymore. So yeah, it's already time to sort of stop today. That's rather unfortunate. Well, next week we'll start a new painting again. I will continue this one in my own time because from now on it's just detailing, and cleanup, and more cleanup, which is basically the same thing over and over again. So that's not too interesting to watch. I think. Well, if you think differently, please let me know. But I think the setup and the actual sort of design part is the more interesting part than the part where we just go in here and do little brush strokes to make it look a little bit better every brush stroke. So of course there will be a time lapse of this one as well. The time lapse of the one we did 2 weeks ago is on its way. It will probably be uploaded next week, somewhere next week, and hopefully we can pick up the pace a little bit with making the time lapses. But I have to finish this one. Probably have to work for 2 hours on it at least to sort of get it to a nice level that we can present it at the end of the time lapse. So there will be a time lapse of this thing. For the people that didn't watch the live streams and kind of want to see how I made it, and at the end of the time lapse that will be the finished piece. I will finish it in my own time, and next Monday we'll start with a new painting. Still not sure what I'm gonna paint then, but hopefully something nice and interesting. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye!